front of you. At 22, the breakout star of The Descendants is set to become one of the biggest names in Hollywood. In her latest movie, The Spectacular Now, she plays a good girl, thank you, who's learning how great she really is with help from the most popular guy in school. Take a look.
What about like ex-boyfriends? Say, we need an ex-boyfriend in there.
No, I don't have.
Who's like an ex-boyfriend that just like really pissed you off, that you should, that just like, and if they're just like.
I don't have an ex-boyfriend.
What?
Yeah.
You don't have a single, you're 17 years old, you don't have an ex-boyfriend?
No.
Really?
Never. Guys don't look at
That's
me like
shocking.
that.
Yeah, absolutely guys look at you like
No,
that.
no.
I just saw two guys looking at you like that. Eric Wolf and Cody Dennis were 100%
we were just
hitting on
talking.
you.
They were not hitting on me. No, there's absolutely
yes,
no way.
Why don't you think they were hitting on you?
Because I'm just, they weren't.
Because you would. Amy, you're absolutely beautiful.
Oh my God, no.
Please welcome Shailene Woodley. Hey girl, come on. Love this film. Shailene, you are lovely.
Have you ever got your hair caught in a fan, Shailene?
I have not, but we were watching that, and that looks a little bit terrifying.
Be careful around fans, but we just want to get right to it. This movie, The Spectacular Now, was so, Whoopi said, she said it was lovely. It was just, it just evoked feelings in me. Loved it so much. But can you tell the audience about The Spectacular Now? Your role is Amy Finicky.
Yeah, so it's, I think, the most authentic coming-of-age movie that we've had in maybe 20 years, in a long time. It reminds me of like an old John Hughes film, or it's just such a real look at what adolescents are doing today and the way that they interact with their parents, the way that they interact with each other, and there's no glamour, they're not trying to make it something that it's not. And you saw in the clip, I wear no makeup in the whole film. Nobody wears any makeup, so there's zits, and it's so real. And
You don't look as if you have a lot of makeup on today.
I have some makeup on today. I'm not gonna lie. I have some makeup on. Yeah.
You know, and you had said that Sutter, the young boy you fall in love with, because we saw the film, reminds you of a lot of your own boyfriends. Of course, you're still so young.
I am.
But, yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, but.
I got my whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. But was there a big somebody for you when you were in high school, like 10 minutes ago?
No, you know what, there wasn't, I didn't have one person who reminded me of this character Sutter, but I did sort of have a few different relationships that, combining them all together, you know, there's, I think, a process that a lot of young girls go through in high school where they sort of lose themselves in a relationship, and I actually think it's a really important part of life, because had I not gone through that, I wouldn't have taken the time to get to know myself and get to know my own needs and self-love.
How would your friends describe you in high school, which was last week?
I was very social. I was like in charge of pep rallies and in choir. I kind of dabbled in everything. I loved high school.
You know, this movie, watching it, I had to turn down the volume for a hot minute. You did your first sex scene for this movie, and you called it, I want to make sure I say it right, you called it a raw and almost uncomfortable, intimate sequence. But then you said it was actually your favorite
it's a favorite scene in the whole movie.
Why is that?
Because it is so real. I mean, the audience, I think, does feel uncomfortable watching it because it almost feels like you're invading somebody's privacy, because there's not fancy music playing and there's not any exaggeration of what it's like to be intimate with somebody for possibly the first time. It's also like a minute long shot. Making love.
It was very uncomfortable. I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, should I be watching this? It was.
That's exactly what you felt, like I'm invading.
I hear that you have a ritual in the morning. I want to hear about it.
Oh, I will tell you all about it.
You take herbs and you sing a particular song.
I do. Every single morning I wake up, I sing a song. You want to hear it?
Yeah. And what are the herbs
I mean, it's a very common song. Oh, for herbs? Just like teas. I study herbalism, so whatever's feeling right for my body in the moment. But there's a few tinctures, like chaga mushroom, if anyone's ever heard.
What's that song, girl?
Okay, because good morning, every day. And then sometimes I'll add on the end of it, exciting day, exciting day.
you make it.
She's bringing her energy up. That's what she's doing.
You know, we all saw you with George Clooney, and he gave you some advice. You played his daughter in Descendants. What's the best? Yeah. What's the best piece of advice he gave you?
A few things. One of my favorite pieces of advice that he said is you can make a bad movie out of a good script, but you can't make a good movie out of a bad script. And I will never forget that, and it's so true, because no matter who's involved in the film, directorially or acting-wise or production-wise, if it's not on the page, then it's very... Can't make it to make it. Huh?
I said, even if it has George Clooney.
Well, I think George only does projects that have good scripts. So if George is involved, then I'm sure.
Shailene, we are big fans of yours. Thank you for coming on. We want to thank Shailene Woodley. The Spectacular Now opens in theaters August 2nd. We'll be right back.